Bando mui sabadana mate. Jahar prasade bhai e bhavato riya jai. Krishna prapti ho jaha hoite. Krishna prapti ho jaha hoite. Guru mukha padma vakya chitete koriyaika. Aruna kori ho mane asha. Shri Guru charane rati sei uttama gati. Je prasade pure sarva asha. Prasade pure sarva asha. चक्षुदाना दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से. चक्षुदाना दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से. चक्षुदाना दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से. दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित. प्रेम भक्ति जहा होते अविद्या विनाश जाते. वेदे गाय जहार चरित. श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु या धाम जनार बंधु. लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन. लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवन. हा हा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे पाद छाया. आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे पाद छाया. ए आधमा लइलो शरण. तुया पादे लइनु शरण. तुया पादे लइनु शरण. आमी शरणिलाम. आमी शरणिलाम. अभय श्रीपाद पद्मे शरणीलाम दया कर हे আমায় দয়া কর হে পতিত পাবন শ্রী গুরুদেব দয়া কর হে পতিত পাবন শ্রী গুরুদেব দয়া কর হে अधम पतित जने दया कर हे अधम पतित जने दया कर हे गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव श्री गुरु वैष्णव महात्म्य गीति by Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. We're gonna do page 136 now. Nirmana Gauranga bine nahi yara Hemana Gauranga bine nahi yara He naya avatara hobe ki hoiche हे नया अवतार होबे की होएछे हेन प्रेम पराचार हेन प्रेम पराचार दुरमति अति पतित पाषण्डी अति पतित पाषण्डी प्राणे ना मारिलो रे प्राणे ना मारिलो रे हरि नाम दिए हृदय शोधिलो हरि नाम दिए हृदय शोधिलो যাচ্ছি গিয়া ঘরে ঘরে যাচ্ছে গিয়া ঘরে ঘরে ভাবে বীরিনী চিরা বঞ্চিত যে প্রেমা ভাবা বীরিন চিরা বঞ্চিত যে প্রেমা জগত ফেলিল ঢালি जगते फैलिलो ढाली कंगले पाइया खाइलो नाचिया कंगले पाइया खाइलो नाचिया कंगले पाइया खाइलो नाचिया पाइया खाइलो नाचिया बजाइया करताली बजाइए करताली হাসিয়ে কাঁদিয়ে প্রেম গদা গদি দিয়ে প্রেমে গদা গদি ফুলকে ব্যাপিল অঙ্গা ফুলকে ব্যাপিল অঙ্গা চণ্ডালে ব্রাহ্মণে কর কুলাকুলি ব্রাহ্মণে করে কুলাকুলি কবে বাঁচিল রঙ্গা কবে বাঁচিল এ রঙ্গা ডাকিয়ে হাকিয়া খোল করতাল ডাকিয়ে হাকিয়ে খোল করতাল গাইয়ে ধাইয়া ফিরে গাইয়ে ধাইয়ে ফিরে দেখিয়া সামনতার পাইয়ে দেখিয়া সামনতার পাইয়ে কপট হানিল দ্বারে কপট হানিল দ্বারে এতিন ভুবন আনন্দে ভরিল এতিন ভুবন আনন্দে ভরিল উঠিল মঙ্গল স্বর উঠিল মঙ্গল স্বর কহে প্রেমানন্দ এ মনা গৌরঙ্গ প্রেমানন্দ এ মনা গৌরঙ্গ রতিনা জন্মিল মোরা রতিনা কহে প্রেমানন্দ এ মন গৌরঙ্গ কহে প্রেমানন্দ এ মন গৌরঙ্গ রতিনা জন্মিল মোরা রতিনা জন্মিল মোরা এ মনা গৌরঙ্গ বিনে নাহি আর এ মনা গৌরঙ্গ বিনে নাহি আর হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম রাম হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম রাম হরে হরে জয় গৌরা হরি জয় গৌরা হরি গৌরা হরি জয় গৌরা হরি জয় Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Yamuna Gauranga Bine Nahi Aar by Srila Premananda Das.
Let's read that translation.
Yeah.
Because I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, let's read it. Okay. You can start
No
with
one
it.
is like Lord Gauranga. Will there ever be an incarnation like him? An incarnation that preached ecstatic love of Godhead as he did.
He did not kill the fallen wicked heart blasphemers. Instead, he went from house to house visiting them. He begged them to chant Lord Krishna's holy names. He gave them the holy names and purified their hearts.
To the world, he freely gave the rare gift of ecstatic love of Godhead, a gift even Brahma and Shiva attained only with great difficulty. Attaining that gift, the poor people of this world danced and clapped their hands.
They laughed and wept. Overcome with ecstasy, they rolled on the ground. The hairs of their bodies stood erect. The Brahmanas, the Chandalas embraced. There was great bliss.
Loudly they called out the holy names, playing the Ridanga and the Kartals. They sang, ran, danced in a circle. Seeing all this, peaceful composure became afraid, fled, and knocked on people's doors.
An auspicious tumult arose. The three worlds were filled with bliss. Premananda says, alas, attachment for Gauranga did not arise in me.
Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Very beautiful.
We'll sing.
I don't understand this one line. Seeing all this peaceful composure, became afraid, fled, and knocked on people's doors. Explain that to me. Why am I losing that? Peaceful composure.
Yeah, seeing all this peaceful composure became afraid. With such ringing of the kartals and the mridangas, this like peaceful of like, oh, I'm sadhu, I'm very. It's like, go away. This is not the time for that. This is not what Nam Sankirtan is.
Very good.
Full-fledged-
Perfect explanation. Okay.
Full-fledged theism, this is going all the way.
All right.
Full-fledged theism. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. Perfect.
Yeah, this one's very beautiful. Especially with Gaur Purnima coming up, so
Yeah.
even more chanting of the glories of Lord Gauranga. We'll sing one more. We'll sing Jai Radha Madhav if I can figure out what page it's on. No, I can't. Page 227. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय जशोदानंदन जय व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन जय व्रज जनरंजन जय जमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरावनचारी जशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरावनचारी जय व्रज जनरंजन जय जमुना तीरावनचारी जय व्रज जनरंजन जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Lo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Madhav by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's okay. I can.
Jai Lavanya Sundari Didi ki Jai. Very beautiful, ecstatic kirtan. It's heartening to see next generation
So beautiful.
having such deep
Unbridled enthusiasm.
yeah. So we're at the, I think, the last part of chapter 3 of the Hidden Treasure, the Sweet Absolute. Verse 36, I think, we'll begin with.
Yes. Let me just... put this here.
So we'll begin, we can chant together. So this begins with a question from Arjuna, and then the Supreme Lord then is answering. So once we chant, then we can read the translation and discuss, and then also look at the next chapter. Arjuna Vacha Atha Kena Prayuktoyam Papam Charati Purusha Anichannapi Varshaneya Baladiva Niyojita. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbhava Mahashano Mahapapama Vidhyenam Mihaveranam Dhumena Vriyate Vahanir Yatha Darsho Malena Cha Yatholabena Vrato Garvas Tatha Tene Damavratam Avratam Jnanametena Jnanino Nityavarina Kamarupena Kaunteya Dushpurena Analena Cha Indriyani Mano Buddhir Asyadhishtanam Uchate Etaira Vimohatya Isha Jnanam Avritya Dehinam Tasmat tam indriyanyado niyamya bharatarshava papam manam prajahi hainam jnana vijnana nasanam indriyani parannahur indriyebhyo param mana manasastu para buddhir buddhir paratastu sa evam buddhe param buddha sanstabhyatmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam iti Shri Mahabharate Satsasrayam Samhitayam Vayasikyam Bhishma Parvani Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā Nisatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyodhyayah. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 3. Now we can start reading, and Lavanya Sundari, if you can begin. After you, then we will go to Hari Priya Didi, then we will go to Madhav Prabhu, and then Jairam, and then that's how we'll go.
Okay. 36.
36.
Arjuna inquired, O descendant of the Vrishnis, by what is the living being compelled to commit sinful activities, even unwillingly, as if by force?
The Supreme Lord replied, it is the desire to enjoy the mundane that induces a person to commit sins, and in different situations it produces anger. It is utterly insatiable, extremely malicious, and the worst enemy of the living being in this world.
The fire is thinly veiled by smoke, as a mirror is thickly covered with dust, and as the embryo remains completely enclosed within the womb. Similarly, the desire covers the consciousness of the living being. In these 3 degrees of intensity, according to the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance respectively.
Knowledge is covered by desire, the constant enemy of the wise. It burns like an insatiable fire, never satisfied by offerings of butter.
It is said that this enemy, desire, dwelling within the senses, mind, and intelligence, covers the perception of the embodied living being and deludes him.
Therefore, O noblest of the Bharatas, control your sense and destroy this desire, the embodiment of sin, which destroy both knowledge and realization.
It is said by the wise that the senses are superior to matter, the mind is superior to the senses, and the intelligence is superior to the mind, and the soul is superior to the intelligence.
O mighty Arjuna, knowing the soul to be superior to the intelligence, steady the mind with resolute intelligence and destroy the formidable enemy, desire. So the last part is from the conversation of Shri Krishna and Arjuna in Śrīmad Bhagavad Gītā Upanishad, the yoga scripture of transcendental knowledge in Bhishma Parva of Sri Mahabharata, the holy scripture revealed by Srila Vyasadeva in 100,000 verses. So that is the end of chapter 3. And in this last part, the question by Arjuna is that the living beings which he is introspecting as he is speaking, as he's asking the question, it's like sometimes he's saying that he can kind of pull back and see himself as committing sinful activities, as if by force. He doesn't want to do it though. So he's asking, like, what is the reason for that? And that's a pretty deep question. Like, Baladiva, Balad, there is this, as he says, Baladiva. Baladiva is as if by force, like you don't want to move your, your tongue in that way. You don't want to move your hands and feet in that way. But like Baladiva, as if by force you're being compelled to.
And what is compelling us? What is compelling us? Desire?
Desire in the
uninvited.
So it's in the background. That desire is the key. That is the driver. And so that
trap.
that
seems like a bear trap.
that is what is driving, and our false ego, our awareness is being filtered through our false ego. Then the modes, depending on our own propensities and on our own situation, which modes or one of the modes or two of them are prominent and in what percentage, that is what is really propelling the that force. And it's actually the modes acting, and whereas within the false ego, the person or the individual is thinking, I'm doing it. We read that verse, Ahankara Vimhudatma. Last time that was one of the verses, Ahankara Vimhudatma, or it could have been week before last. Ahankara Vimhudatma kartahum iti mannate. So prakrite kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvasha. That's the verse. And which verse number 27. Okay, verse 27 in this chapter says that it is actually prakriti, it is material nature acting through the modes that is compelling action. That is the impetus. And then subtler than that is actually the desire to enjoy separately. Because of that, whatever one is doing is exploitative.
Right.
And because of that exploitation, there is a reaction. And for anything that is a reaction, by definition, it is sinful.
But if we are in this world, we have desires. What we do? No desire is impossible.
Right. So what do you prescribe we should do?
No, I don't know. Because here I have the translation.
No, you're right, because in this, it is, you cannot be desireless.
No.
So then what do we do?
But we have choice. No?
Choice to desire.
Yes, something, for example, I go to the movies, but I go to the class here. Then I decide what to do. No?
Yeah.
Always we have desire.
Yes.
Depends on us. But I don't know what you said is depend the ¿cómo fue lo que dijo? The falso ego.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the falso ego?
False ego, puts you in the center and makes you believe that this manifestation or this plane that we're in is actually centered around for you to exploit. Take whatever you want. Enjoy in various ways. Gather experience. Enrich your life. That's false ego. False ego, once is corrected, then in the corrected ego, you will understand that I actually myself belong to the real center, and I'm a serving unit rather than an exploiting unit. So that is the corrected ego.
I don't know, because I see we have ego. It's natural. I have my ego. My ego. I have.
Ego means what to you?
For me, ego means like I am.
The sense of or your conception of who you are.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what false ego is. Joy. Is that correct, Madhav Prabhu?
Yes.
That's all conceptions of who I am constitutes together, if I collectively say, is who I am. But if that in totality, if that entire conception or conglomerate of conceptions is wrong, then what? That becomes false ego.
But everybody is different.
So
It's all that seems.
don't think of everybody right now. Just think of one individual. Then otherwise, we will never understand. So for one individual,
Only I see
your
myself,
yeah,
my ego.
your ego,
But I see I am.
and then what you are, it's all, you could say, not correct. You are only considering your physical self, you're only considering your mind at the most to be you. But you cannot really pinpoint who are you truly, because you've been made to forget that. You've been made to forget that. That's why false ego comes into being. So it's a very extremely subtle principle. It's not something that is gross that we can actually see with our eyes, with our senses. But we know it's there. There is a sense of who I am. Now that is maladjusted and improper. So coming to the Shuddha Ahankar, which means corrected ego. So false ego, then there is corrected ego. So in corrected ego, what would corrected ego be like? So Sriman Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev gives his own example. And he says, Naham Vipro, Nach Narpatir, Nap Vaishyo na Shudro, Naham Varni Grahapatir, no Vanasto Yatirva, Kintu Prodhyana Nikhil Paramananda, Purnamratabder, Gopi Bhartuh, Padkamalayor, Das, Dasanudas. This is corrected ego. I am the servitor of the servitor of the servitor of Gopi Bhartuh Padkamalayor, he who is the Lord of the hearts of the damsels of Brajadam, led by Srimati Radharani. He says, I am Das Dasanudas. He realizes that. That is corrected ego. which means no more exploitation, no more thinking in terms of physical as being myself. Physicality becomes only a minuscule fraction.
But the exploitation in this world is completely different for us, don't do. We are exploitation medicines. It's not possible to stop in this world.
It's not possible.
And we are living in this world. I am not living in other.
Yes, it is possible to be non-exploitative.
That's what Seva is for.
You're doing it.
What?
This is where Seva comes in.
Okay, but that is. But in all our life, we do exploitation in many ways.
Yeah, but so that is gradually coming to a stage where no more.
I think it's not possible in this world.
Well, then it may not be possible for you.
No, I sin for me, Lord.
Yeah.
Because I sin.
So here's the thing. Wait. Hear me out. Why you are saying it's not possible in this world? Because it is not possible for you.
Yeah, for me, I sin.
So-
because I sin like that.
So that's okay. Maybe one more life, or maybe two more. How does it matter? So we don't see in terms of like, well, it's not possible. That is a projection. If I say, who's seen God? Why? Because I haven't seen.
But
Why? It cannot be done.
I see the other person. I don't know a person is not exploitation. I don't know.
Yeah, you cannot know. Unless you come to that platform, then you can know.
Because always an exploitation for the person is going in the street, we take water, we take food, no?
So we are doing everything that say the exploitative segment is doing. And the exploitative segment is seeing us and saying, well, what is the difference? You take food. But we say, no, we don't. And they say, no, well, I've seen you. I've seen you with my own eyes that you take food. And we say, no. We are only accepting the remnants of prasadam. So what is the difference, real difference? Difference is angle of vision. Please listen. It is the angle of vision. Where you stand and consider what is happening, because on the face of it, the action will look the same. It is not the action. It is what is behind the action. You're breathing, I'm breathing. We're to others we're eating. But here in Bhagavad Gītā it says every morsel that you put in your mouth for yourself is consider that nothing but sin. Now, eating is something so central and so innocent that is considered. Right? It's how can anyone even conceive of the act of putting a morsel in their mouth and committing sin? But that is a fact. And how one's angle of vision changes actually. This is not simply saying, oh, since it's written here, that's why I'm saying. No, I have to stand on that soil. And I have to look and I have to really go deep to see how that activity that looks exactly the same to me and to person X is actually different because of that intention behind it. That I'm not trying to exploit. Anything that is coming to me on my plate, I'm considering it as remnants, and I'm having it, and I'm honoring it. We honor prasadam, and actually prasadam means mercy. It does not mean food at all. So we are not interested in like doing different things. It's not about different things. That is like really trying to objectify everything. By that vision, which is a completely mundane vision, that angle of vision is mundane. That's what else is mundane. And it's not anyone's fault. You need to understand by false ego, why separate interest is because of our choice to come here and enjoy. Why has God made something like this? Because we chose to have it this way. And He says, okay, if you insist, then here you go. And then now we come into this conception where we can't conceive of Him, we can't see Him. But He's the basis of everything. How is that? This is telling us, Shastra is telling us, Sadhu is telling us, Gurudev is telling us that He is the basis of everything. He's pervading everything. He is within every atom. And everything that we conceive of and we cannot conceive of is within Him. But we cannot conceive of any of it. That is hypnosis. He is helping us forget Him. He is helping us forget Him. Through the agency of Maya Devi, Ma Durga, she is, that's her thankless task, is to keep us busy in here. Oh, look how wonderful that is. And then all senses go into that direction. And then we go, how wonderful, oh, let's go this. And then we go, well, I'm kind of tired, I need to go take a break. And then some other pursuit. But it's all under false ego. Then we try some yoga, some stretching. And then we get into like, well, there's like this, let's be Superman. And then, some weird things come out like, let's do Kundalini and,
but
some...
help you in some way?
Huh?
In some way, help you?
Help me?
Yeah. If you practice that sense,
Wait.
help in some way.
What? Yoga?
Yeah.
So, yoga, whatever you do, again, your intent is prime. It's not the act or the activity. It's what are you going in there for? If you're going in there to better yourself so that you can serve better, sure, you can harmonize that. But if you're just going to let go, I'll take a break from everything, I'll go do yoga, then, I won't recommend it. One can still go, but so all I'm saying is like, in the end, you know what he says? This is the battlefield where Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. But if you notice in this last part, what is he telling Arjuna? He identifies the enemy. Not as Duryodhan, not as Bhishmadev, not as Kripacharya. But who is he identifying? The enemy is within. That desire to enjoy, that separate interest. At the subtlemost, that you conquer. It's in here. So the battlefield is outside, but look what he's saying here. Who is the enemy? He identifies and he's telling him you conquer him. While the battlefield is ready. And it's kind of like, if you see this entire, the conch shells have been blown, which means in the first chapter we heard that they blew the conch shells. After that, it's just attack. You attack. So between that time and the time these 18 chapters elapse, what are all these people doing? Looking at Arjuna and Krishna talk for 2 hours? It's kind of like time dilation. For them, time goes like this. For Arjuna and Krishna, until he completes and speaks, no one moves. Did you notice? First chapter, Sainya Darshan, the conch shells have been blown. Which means, let's go.
It's on.
Yes.
Attack. People are going to, but and then this conversation starts, builds up. And for 18, this is arranged in 18 chapters. He didn't speak chapter-wise, but it's arranged in 18 chapters. And so it must have taken about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to complete in a nice flow, back and forth.
Has it ever been said?
What?
Has anyone ever said that the conversation existed for an hour and a half or 2 hours?
Nobody.
I would imagine it's you have to think.
Well, because is it?
I'm just,
Yeah.
we're speaking, so I'm just like saying it, like, how is it possible?
Because didn't time stop in the sense of nobody felt like so much time
That's what
elapsed, so
that's what I'm saying. Otherwise, people would be like, "Hey, what's happening? Let's go! We gotta attack because this is the battlefield." Yeah, like why are we waiting for these people to talk? They're talking, but nobody said that. For them, time stopped. Krishna can do that.
Thank you.
So some of the things that we don't even think of are there. In our false ego, we're just going in a certain way with our little contrived conceptions of things, and we take them as all in all, and we consider me as the center. Remember this, I am the doer. That's false ego saying. All credit should come to me. Everyone should worship me in a way. That's false ego. I'm the center, I'm enjoying, I will make decisions. I'm the best at this. I'm capable. Huh?
But my decision in life, I do. Of course, some people advise why you don't do this or that, for example, the spiritual masters, no?
Well, here's the thing, we're not interested in opinions of people. I mean, we respect everyone, we give honor to everyone, and everyone has their opinions, but we're not considering anyone's opinions to be things that we follow or pay heed to. What should be done, what should not be done. Otherwise, again, that is like being pulled into mundanity. That's the mundane plane. Gramya Katha, gossip, kimbadanti, he said, she said, they said. There's no end to it. You can go down that rabbit hole and it's kind of like never ending. So unclutter all of these things, simplify for practice. That's why what we have been given is the holy names when we chant, and that we're employing sound. Sound is the subtlemost element at our disposal of all the elements. So that has the capacity, that has the power to take us. All the other things, I really don't know. I won't say like no, but it says that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. Eva Kevalam means that's it. Kalo nastyeva, 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 gatirannatha. There's no other way.
No wonderful.
So it's not, now that saying is not relative. Someone goes, well, I was able to elevate myself using such and such yogic thing or kriya or kundalini or whatever and alleviate my medical things. Maybe, maybe not. I'm no one to say that. But here is saying that your deliverance and it means in totality, complete, absolute. There's no other way. This is the only way. And the sound culture, you cultivate the sound culture. Go inward. The journey is always inward. If I go somewhere and that helps me go deeper inward, yes. Then I will accept it. Then I will do it. To that extent, I will travel. I will do all of those things because that's how one goes deeper. This is Param Guru Mahārāj telling us that this is the inward journey. So when we look outside and we go, well, that person is this, that person is this, it's useless. We can't change anything.
No.
So let's work on what we can change. It's inward.
Yes.
That's a thing of intelligence. Real intelligence is that. Real intelligence is no, well, I will first quieten them and I will make them fall in line. No. What are we? That's a fool's errand. It will never happen. So journey is inward. Go deeper. Go inward. And whatever things, whatever association, and all other paraphernalia that will help that journey go inward and go deeper, you accept. So simplify. Simplify things. You go outward, more complication.
Yes.
See, we agree. Because it's a fact, it's not my opinion. We go outward, more complication.
Yeah, more.
So, outward, it's all just more nonsense. You go, keep going, more nonsense. Let me see the worldview, let me see geopolitics, let me see this, or it's all ridiculous. Leads to nowhere. Does you no benefit. But you go inward, you take all of these things, and then ultimate benefit. So in the battlefield, enemy has been identified. And he says the enemy is within. Here we would think if he was like someone like an ordinary ruler or ordinary emperor, they would be like, well, let's identify a list of the people to kill first, right? Well, let's make this. Let's get rid of Dronacharya. Let's get rid of Kripacharya. Let's get rid of Bhishmadev. Let's get rid of you know, all those people. But no, that's not happening. Right here, he's identifying the enemies within. Do you see that? Deva Priya Didi ki jai. Jai. So the enemy is within, identified. Krishna was never in favor of war. Never in favor of war. Till the last moment, he tried to avoid it. Till the last moment. He, in Hastinapur, he said, give me only 5 villages. Okay, let's settle it. 5 villages. You take everything. But Duryodhana said, no.
Not like that.
Not even that. I will not even give you like, tip of the needle amount of land. You get nothing. He goes, well, then you ask for war.
He did.
And then he tried to imprison Krishna. He ordered his people to imprison him. Those people who go, well, he's inciting, you pick up weapon, you pick up this, you pick up that, they don't know anything. They don't understand anything. And there are so many commentaries that go, well, he should have, look, Arjuna was saying such nice things by chapter 2. He was saying, I will sacrifice myself, and I don't want to fight this battle. But look, he's inciting, he's saying no. Krishna's saying, no, you must fight. But look here, nobody says that. He's helping Arjuna identify the ultimate enemy. The desire within to enjoy separately. That is the enemy. You conquer that, everything else will follow. Everything will be perfectly adjusted. But no one talks of that. Why? Because everyone is writing or thinking under false ego. So many opinions exist. So what is the use of going through any of these opinions? No. And in the same way, Krishna also goes, Matir Mama. This is my opinion. Because he knows how us intellectuals think, the human society. So he also goes like that. But we understand who he is. So I actually go entirely for his opinion, and I consider his opinion to be the absolute truth. So by doing that, I'm not doing him a favor. I'm doing myself a huge service. I'm correcting my own position. My own maladjustment is being corrected. But people never bring this out. I've never seen where he has said that. Control your senses and destroy this desire. Why is he trying to destroy Arjuna's desire if he was himself wanting, he was in for a war, and he was just from the mundane point of view. No one can explain that. So they don't. So one has to be careful. What do you think, Madhav Prabhu?
I think he said one sentence that totally buttoned it all up, and that we are just hypnotized by our second interest and have no inclination to ever find a better situation than to have this royal treatment for myself. And that this is our false ego. Good ego, when we're in the company of devotees and they're saying, what a fine flower arrangement you have made here. And your ego is, yes it is, isn't it? Aren't we? This is our proper position. And this is our family. This is what we're missing when we take this second guessing.
Hare Krishna.
And that's my feeling.
So, someone who understands that, who follows it, and comes to some situation, a steady situation where they can see what's happening according to their, and so according to their level of growth and their level of realization, then the angle of vision is bound to change. And so when that actually happens, then at a certain point, one feels that I must help, these other people, or they're inherently good, because no soul is bad. It's just like the coverings are so intensely polluted that one feels that this person is bad, but no person is bad in terms of the soul plane. It's just the coverings, and to what intensity that has developed makes them seem like monsters. So that's what people do to themselves. And so at some point in time, then persons feel like, well, we should help. Oh, VIP. Nandarani Didi ki jai. VIP jai Didi. She's my sister.
Yes.
Abhi aayo Didi ab?
Abhi aayi.
Achha.
We were saying happy birthday to Mama.
Achha. So that's our, like Madhav Prabhu said, and the lively discussion that we are having with Haripriya Didi is, that's essential to have, so we can see each other's viewpoints and come to a harmony. That I'm not the center. And it's such a relief, honestly. It's like, oh,
A miserable failure anyway.
loser. So the real center is to be glorified. Sankirtan means that. Complete glorification of the center. Full glorification of the center. That's why madhyasthata, or that calm, that peacefulness. No, when you're glorifying the center, you must go all out, all in. So no more tatastha. No, service, full service. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they inaugurate the Sankirtan. So had it not been for them, Madhav Prabhu goes, oh, I don't
He was harsh my mellow here.
Hari Hare Krishna. Yeah, so it's like that,
Take that away from me.
So we don't have to worry about gossip or this or that or he said, she said. No, we have our our things right in front of us, what we need to do, what we have. We take association and we completely engage in service and sankirtan. And that is the real goal of life, to come to that level of faith that you're fully in, not partially in or all in. I'm not planning for retirement.
No.
As
I told Jeevan a couple of days ago, we were up at the Samadhi and we were joking around about this is not a dress rehearsal. We're in full in. We're full in. No more postponing.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that becomes more intense, and then on that faith one can stand, and one must fortify each other. No. That is the perfect way to proceed. And he says from his side, Krishna is saying, in the words of Param Guru Mahārāj, he says, Krishna says, for those, nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. It's just from Bhagavad Gītā, but that was one of the, Param Guru Mahārāj used to give that assurance, to us, to everyone who hears from him, that he's there. Krishna says, for those who actually are all in this, they will never be ruined. Which means that is an assurance from his side.
We have guardians of our devotion.
Yeah. And he is there. So guardians and all other paraphernalia is there, everything is there. He himself is there too. He says that. And I never felt like that, but Param Guru Mahārāj, when he put it like that, that was so inspiring and such a feeling no, that's exactly what it means. Naiveha namatra vinashastasya vidyate. It says, neither in this life or the next. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Don't you worry. And that's for all of us. So go all in. So, like that, it's a beautiful culture. Complete theism, such intimacy. In no other conception you will find such intimacy with divinity. Here, it's like person to person, in person. So, we must remind ourselves again and again, because this entire world and this entire plane is actually trying to take us in another direction. But we exercise our free will to choose the other way. And that's available. So we've identified the enemy and we'll work on it. So if you want, we can begin the path of knowledge, Jñāna-yoga. Chapter 4, we can cover a few verses if you want. Is there time? Yeah? Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
What happened?
Nothing. The first verse is exciting. I mean, they're all exciting.
Yeah. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Ahamavyayam Vivaswana Manave Praha Manurikshava Kave Bravi Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarashayo Vidu Sakale Neha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa Sa evayam mayatidya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam aitaduttamam Arjuna vacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvata katham aitad vijaniyam tamado proktavaniti. Okay. Lavanya, Sundari, please lead us.
Okay, number 1. The Supreme Lord said, I imparted this imperishable yoga of knowledge, achieved by selfless action, to Surya, the presiding deity of the sun. Surya taught it to his son Vaisvata Manu, who passed it on to his son Ikshvaku.
O conqueror of the enemy, that the saintly kings such as Nimai, Janaka, and others learned this yoga, which was passed down to them by disciple succession. But in the course of the time, the teaching has been lost.
As you are my devotee and friend, I now reveal to you the supreme secret, the eternal yoga.
Arjuna said, Vivaswan, the sun god, was born in ancient times, long before you were. Therefore, how am I to consider that you previously gave these teachings to him? Here, so the essence of the scripture is, we say it was spoken 5,000 years back, such and such recorded in the form that we have right now in front of us. But here the real timeline is being revealed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is revealing to Arjuna the real timeline of since when this essence of the Gita Upanishad has existed. So he says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam. He says, now, very interesting. He says, I give it to Vivaswan. And actually Vivaswan is what we see as the sun. Now if someone said that, on like modern times, so-called modern times, to anyone, they would be like, you said it to sun? What does that even mean? Because Krishna is like his friend, Arjuna's friend, and he's like been with him. He's really like to say, he's been chummy with him since forever. And now he's saying, well, you know what I'm telling you, actually I told a long time back to the sun god. Is this even understandable by by common intelligence, by modern like highest IQ intelligence.
No.
What did he say? Like, I said it to the sun god,
It's a fairy tale.
right?
Yes.
That's what will pop up.
That's what it is for them, yes.
But look at the example. What was Arjuna's reaction here? Arjuna's reaction in verse 4. Could you double read that? Like for us. What did he say?
The sun god was born in ancient times long before you were. Therefore, how am I to consider that you previously gave these teachings to him? I think he's starting to realize Krishna is bigger than he is.
No, but what I'm trying to show you, illustrate to you here, is that Arjuna, that thought never crossed his mind about the sun being an object.
Okay.
So his question, where he is demonstrating his perplexity over what was just said, is the timeline,
Yeah.
not the object, sun, being inanimate. Doesn't this demonstrate that? He says, well, sun was born in ancient times. So look at where his elevation of consciousness is. Arjuna's. It's far above any of the scientists or people of the modern times. His elevation is of the level where he knew that is sun is living. So he had traveled the multiverse. He had met the sun god. And here we see it as an object, as like a huge ball of fire.
With occasional flare.
I also think it's interesting that Shri Arjun's out. You just talked about this, about how there's no conception like this where there's such intimacy with the Lord. And so especially where Arjuna is asking a question where he's like, what do you mean you said that? This would be considered an offensive question. Like, if somebody's asking you this, you're saying, I imparted this knowledge. It's the Lord, the Supreme Lord saying, I imparted this knowledge. And his friend's going, what are you, dude, what?
You couldn't have done that.
No, that's not. Right, and that's, offensive, right? You're questioning the Lord. That's the supreme truth. Yeah. But he's very happily answering his question, and they're having their lovely conversation. And
see, that's another thing about why it isn't so apparent to everyone, is because Krishna's nature is not like, I'm God, come worship me. No, he'd rather be friends and, come and wrestle you and do things like that and throw you under the bus occasionally and, play with you. So we're dealing with, the supreme truth. We're dealing with the sweet absolute who doesn't want to be God. That's a problem for someone who's searching, because then that awe, reverence, and majesty is easy to spot. But this is like, he wants to be on an equal plane, an equal footing with his devotees and everyone. So how do you actually find that? It's really difficult.
How do you find intimacy?
No, how do you get to that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you find from, let's say, from false ego to actually making that connection? Krishna is the center. He's the one. How do you make that? Where he doesn't himself, he's not interested in godhood. See, that causes a lot of dissonance to persons in general. But it is actually the highest, the sweetest. So this question here of Arjuna is actually more about, he's perplexed about timelines rather than the sun being an object. Which would, so when initially, years back, when I first read it, and I was like, he spoke to sun god? What does that mean? And I'm like, I only see this ball of fire. What does that mean that Krishna went to him and he was saying things to him, to a ball of fire? What does that mean?
Good questions.
But to Arjuna, that never occurred. He knew. He knew the identity of what we see as object. He knew that's the sun god. It's living. It's not inanimate. It's not like a big nuclear reactor. From one facet, it's a nuclear reactor, but you go, deeper into consciousness, then everything is alive. Everything is personal. And Arjuna is exhibiting that level of realization right here. So that is wondrous to understand that people, or those individuals, they weren't living in dark ages at that time during Mahabharata, which is over 5,000 years back. They were a lot more advanced in every way than today's any civilization can even conceive of. Their technology, and I call it organic technology, they were the masters of organic technology. They weren't depending on chips or silicon and any of this. They didn't depend on any of it. Electricity like that. They had their vimans, their chariots, and some were flying, and their weapons. Look at their weaponry, and it was all organic. No chips, no nothing, all organic. We cannot even conceive of that. Time travel, interdimensional travel, all happening, recorded. And if you really see how all of this, Sanjay is actually telling it to that blind king Dhritarashtra. And they're not on the battlefield, they're in Hastinapur. And he has remote vision, live broadcast. No Wi-Fi's, nothing. No big screens. No LCDs, LEDs, OLEDs, or whatever. But he's actually seeing it. And he can direct where to go, he can hear, and he's relaying it to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is, well, can you go closer to Duryodhan? Then he goes closer to Duryodhan. Remote viewing. Perfectly, everything clearly, organically happening, technology. So that is organic technology. So they were at that level.
You weren't cavemen?
As we are made to believe that people, 5,000, that's people were in caves and they were, just transitioning from being apes to humans and whatnot. Well, this paints an entirely different picture. It's the brains that are looking at and projecting that they were like that are actually puppy brains. They don't know what they're talking about. So many things here.
With such confidence.
Yeah, false ego. It's like, it is me.
Oh, yes.
I'm all in all. And I put my stamp on this.
Not to be contested.
And then and also here another thing of importance is, it says, I gave it to Vivaswan, Vivaswan gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. And so that is how it came into the human society. And this is coming through parampara. Parampara means that disciplic succession, which means hearing it and how it is being transferred without any distortions, admixtures, just, in complete integrity, how it is passed on. Generation after generation. But then what happens is he says, Soquel mahata yogo nashta parantapa. There is a line here that he says, due to the corrosiveness of time, since a long period of time has passed by earth standards, so that message is now lost. So that is not to say that the message itself has lost integrity. It's the carrying capacity, it's the propagation capacity of the human beings that has corroded by time. So time, as it progresses, time is a destroyer, and no one actually can fight with time. So, Soquel mahata yogo nashta parantapa. That is why now that current that was originally put in is feeble, so he is again reviving it in its full potency. And then he also gives the thing here that and then he'll answer Sri Arjuna's question. So let's Dushkutam Yuge Yuge. Let's do till verse 8, and then we'll pause, because I think it's really so we'll begin with verse 5, 6, 7 and 8. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham ved sarvani natam vetta parantapa ajopi sannavyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavamya atmamaya yada yada hi dharmasya glanirabhavati bharata avyutthanam madharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Okay, you want to lead?
Number 5. The Supreme Lord said, O chastiser of the enemy, both you and I have passed through many births. I can remember all of them, whereas you, O Arjuna, cannot.
Also, my eternal form is transcendental to birth and death, and I am the Lord of all beings. I appear within the world in my divine nature by my sweet will, extending my internal potency.
Bharata, whenever there is a decline in religion and an uprising in irreligion, I personally make my advent.
I appear age after age to deliver the saintly devotees, vanquish the miscreants, and firmly establish true religion. So see, he says here, chastiser of the enemy, both you and I have passed through many births. I can remember all of them. But Arjuna, you cannot.
He's like, that's what you get for asking that question.
So even though you're imperishable, your soul, there is a difference between Tatastha Shakti or between even empowered souls and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. There's a difference. He remembers, huh?
And why in this moment we have conscience. I don't remember anything in past life, but right now I have some conscience. Why?
Consciousness.
Consciousness. Why?
Awareness, because that's who you are. This awareness is, you could say, secondary, but it's still there, and that's who you are in essence. So you're conscious. And it's good that you realize it, because some people don't even acknowledge that they're conscious. Oh, they go, well, what are you talking about? They say it's just a mind thing. You know, neurons are firing, and because of that, we have this whatever awareness. For them, awareness is a product of the mind. Mind is not a product of awareness. So he's saying you're maybe Kshetrajya, you know you're aware, and you're master of your little domain, but he's saying I'm Sarva Kshetrajya. Krishna knows all. So at all levels there is difference, qualitative and quantitative. So that's why he's unique, one without a second, the origin of all. No one can claim that, or no one can become that. Like, now I've become.
Many can claim it and have.
Yeah.
But other person don't have conscience.
Consciousness. Consciousness.
In this moment, do you say?
Didi, what was it again? Can you repeat?
Do you think the other persons has no conscience they are living right now?
They have, but it is not evolved or developed. So when we come to the platform of, when we say Vaishnav, that is Purna Vikasit Chetana. Vikasit comes from the word Vikas. Vikas means development and refinement. Chetana means consciousness. So there are levels: Achhadit Chetana, Mukulit Chetana, Sankuchit Chetana. So these are all like stones and other things, any objects that we see, living, non-living, irrespective, there is consciousness in everything, because everything is coming from consciousness.
Yes.
So, but to what extent it exhibits itself is dependent on the angle of vision of the observer. It's there everywhere. Everywhere. Everything is in consciousness. But what extent one can see will depend on one's angle of vision. How corrected it is, by that one can see. So the empirical people, they go and look at stones and fossils and things like that. We look at consciousness, the living substance. So they're going after, like, looking at death things, objects. We're actually looking at.
It's funny, Avadut Mahārāj was mentioning something. Were you there when he was talking about speaking with the stones? And
Stones.
having a communication? Avadut Mahārāj, when he was here?
I don't recall,
He was
no.
up when we were sitting up there.
I was there too, but for a little while, maybe he spoke.
Yeah, I heard him talking in a very esoteric manner regarding the consciousness of stones
Yeah.
and his ability to engage with them.
So every unit of existence is conscious, is Chinmaya. Why? So this is Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam says that. It says everything is conscious.
Yes.
It has consciousness. Why? Because the origin of everything is conscious, fully conscious, and consciousness. And not just ordinarily, that is Krishna. So when the origin is conscious, by dint of that, everything that comes from the origin will be conscious. Will exhibit some symptoms, may not be prominent because of angle of vision, but it will be there. So we can see that practically. Then in verse 6 he says, although my eternal form is transcendental to birth and death, I am the Lord of all beings. I appear within the world in my divine nature and by my sweet will, extending my internal potency. So his appearance and disappearance, they're not like that of the embodied beings of any kind. They may be chara, they may be akshara, but you cannot compare it to him. Janma karma chamai divyam, he says, evam yoveti tattata. They're of a transcendental nature. To the one who is maladjusted or not adjusted, they will simply look like, well, he was born just like ordinary children are born, and then he disappeared just like ordinary people disappear. But by his own admission, he's saying, no, don't consider that. My appearance, birth, activities is of a different nature than yours. You will never understand it by your lens, by your false ego. You will never understand it. So we are to see like that. If we come into that culture, then simply by understanding that, tyaktava deham punarjanma naiti, then giving up this body, no second birth. You won't come again to any levels. Mameti sarjana, he says, you will come to me. Just by understanding that, janma karma chamai divyam. But evam yo veti tattvata. Tattvata means like in reality, not just simply lip service. One really needs to understand that deeply in realization. And when one understands that, what people aspire for and do all kinds of gymnastics and things, consider that a given. You're delivered. Like for eternity. That is just side effect, side effect of devotion. What to talk of Jnāna-shunya Bhakti, what to talk of, loving service. We're just simply saying, he's saying simply janma karma chamai divyam. Somebody who just simply comes to understand that, they're completely delivered. But and then his I stopped at this because of the Gaur Purnima that's coming up, where he says, whenever there is a decline of religion and uprising of a religion, I personally make my advent, and I appear age after age to deliver the saintly devotees, vanquish the miscreants, and firmly establish true religion. So this is sort of he is making a promise of some sort. It's called pratijñā. So vedera pratijñā, he's made a pratijñā in like, I will personally come and interfere in your world.
Yeah.
This is our world, my world. So he says, no, I will come and interfere if things get out of hand too much for the devotees. And so one of the reasons in one of the songs of Bhakti Vinod, he says that vedera pratijñā rakhivaratore rukma varna viprasuta Mahaprabhu came. So his advent from this angle of vision also is to fulfill his promise that I will come again and again. So in this age, he came. As the golden avatar. So I'd like to pause here and we'll discuss about Sri Navdeep Parikrama tomorrow. Jai Om Vishnupad, Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad, Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki jai. Such an offender. So, anyway, Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mathacharya Vrinda ki jai. Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Sri Navdeep Parikrama ki jai. And upcoming Gaur Purnima festival ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Jai Nittai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Jai.
Jai Ram.